So I'm going to do a little Redhouse catch-up film. Haven't put one out for a few weeks now. We have been going into Redhouse, but we've also had a bit of a side quest with the Kilnpiece Hole to Slaughter Stream connection. First of all, surveying in Pirate Passage, and then secondly, making the first through trip from Kilnpiece Hole to Pirate Passage and on out Wet Sink. So that sort of took up a couple of weekends. So we've also had a Redhouse rescue planning weekend. We're aware that from here, where I am in Naira, not in Redhouse anymore, having come through the breakthrough, the entrance series is basically not passable to a stretcher casualty, and there's going to have to be some modifications made in order for a stretcher casualty to get out from here. So we've been looking at what we can do for that, and we're going to have to make some modifications to basically the first 100 metres of the passage where it's really tight. We've got things like the Welcome to Redhouse pool, we've got the blasted crawl, we've got what we call the toilet seat, and a few other just little projections where we go from taking a stretcher horizontal to vertical up into the horror choke and the cascade climb, places like that, where at the moment we simply wouldn't get a stretcher through.
So welcome back, Redhouse YouTubers. We had a few weeks off, and today we're having a digging session. At the end of, we're off to see the Wizard Chamber. You can see the cover boy, the Descent Star, Dan Jackson up there. We're having a look where to dig. We're going up possibly over the top of the mile choke at the moment. So Andy's going off, he's having a look at a little tube we found going off to the left. I think Stu's down there already as well. It's kind of just digging into a mud bank, digging up.
Oh, I'd like to get past this bit up here.
Yeah.
See what he does.
So no voids yet.
No.
Jan and I are about to go into Redhouse. There's two teams ahead of us, Pete and Matilde, trying to dig in the streamway down from the two pitches, and we've got Dan, Tim and Falkland going into Kraken Black, and they're going to try and dig at the end there and maybe drop down the rift and have a see what they can find there. And Jan and I are going to work on the breakthrough to try and make it large enough for a stretcher to pass. So Jan's first trip into the cave this year.
You weren't filming that, were you?
No, I wasn't filming you trying to get in your suit, no. Heaven forbid. But
yeah, after it tried to kill me last time.
yeah, why was that?
Oh, it was very high water conditions. I got cramp on the way out, not far from the entrance, but I had to sit there for half an hour, absolutely drenched, freezing cold, and I thought if the cramp doesn't go off, I'm going to get hypothermia. Fortunately it did, and I did get out, but probably the closest shave I've ever had in 30-40 years of caving.
Goes to show, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, it should be a little bit different today because it's probably the driest you'll have ever been down here. And I think you'll notice the difference.
Yeah, hopefully.
But it is something when Jan says that's the closest shave he's had in 30-40 years of caving. And I can well believe it from Redhouse. Yeah, so what was the story where you were?
Yeah, so we had another session in Kraken Black, which we haven't been back to for probably 8 months or so, I suppose, since we originally went through there.
Do you want me to shut up?
So since it's been surveyed, no one's been back, but we knew at the end it's cold and drafting, and there was a dig site. So yeah, we went back up there, me, Tim and Folky, squeezed through and just started removing rocks, making it all a bit bigger. Yeah, drafted in there, cold in there. Yeah, we made it sort of big enough that we could keep digging at, but we couldn't really see any voids onwards, so it was a little bit disappointing that there's nothing to entice us to get back to straight away. So Dan, first of all, where are you?
I'm at the drag brake.
Yeah. Oh, now I see it. Yeah. Now I see it. Yeah.
Is it back further behind you? Yeah.
It's under me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We might be coming too far that way at the moment, which is good because I think we want to. That looks a bit hard there, doesn't it? Okay. So I reckon it's where you're sat now, is it?
Yeah.
Good news.
It's always been using a stacking.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pete and Matilda are here. Right. You've got good news.
No,
Pete and Matilda have just come back from the streamway.
that's a bit optimistic actually. We went to Minus Optimism and got the hammer and chisel and crowbar, came back through to the streamway pitch. I got down to the Y-hang, down to the re-belay to the main pitch head, and found that the bolt was loose by hand. I could just spin the nut round. So we actually came all the way back here to get a spanner because we didn't have a spanner with us. Sat and had a bit of lunch, went back, got down. I tightened the other bolts on the way, they were a bit ropey as well. And when I went to tighten it, the bolt just pulled out on the main pitch head with a single bolt hang over, what is it, 20-30 metres.
That is scary, seeing as I've
abseiled down it.
abseiled down that.
It was honestly, it was just, you could just spin it around with the tip of your finger. The bolt had obviously pulled out a bit so that the nut was loose. So.
This exploration was being done in March
because of the dry spring.
But the early trips in March were
it's desperate
because of water.
So we literally these flat out ducks here, the gravel duck and the mud duck, we were free diving out. We were literally holding our breaths and crawling forward because the current was against you. You couldn't breathe, and it was really desperate.
How did you discover this cave?
Okay, so this site was on some land that was owned by a farmer, Graham Bowen.
Yeah, we knew that the water from this site went to the slaughter resurgence. The water sinks here.
Now I want you to take a look at some of these lovely pictures. Here they are. One of the largest cave systems to be found in Britain in the last few decades has been discovered in the Forest of Dean. A team of cavers broke through boulders, squeezed through tight gaps and running water to become the first people in history to explore a 6-mile network of stunning passages, formations and giant caverns. Our Gloucestershire reporter Steve Nibbs reports from English Bicknell.
Bravely going where no one has gone before. Caving like this isn't for the faint-hearted, but through careful determination, digging and breaking through blockages known as chokes, and a sheer sense of adventure, this team has found something extraordinary.
Deep beneath the ground, as one of the largest cave systems in Britain has been discovered underneath the Forest of Dean in Gloucestershire.
Significant. I knew there would be cave. Never imagined what's subsequently been found.
It was when Paul took Tim to the site that the project took on a new life. The group have since opened up over 6 miles of unexplored caves, the first people to go in there. It's been hard, dangerous, challenging work, but rewarding.
Oh, you.
Very large passage.
Oi.
Clearly
watching me on TV. Get down.
The project has been filmed for social media by Ian Healy. It hasn't been easy for him either, keeping an eye on his own footing down there. but he's already looking forward to the next stage.
We're going down there this weekend. We hope to find stuff that, again, no one's ever seen before. I've got my eye on a particular lead, which involves climbing up into a new passage and have to use ropes and bolting techniques to get there. And who knows where that might go. Might go for another few miles.
So more exploration to come. Important conservation work and surveying of this once-in-a-lifetime discovery of what lies beneath in the Forest of Dean.
Oh my giddy arms!
Steve Nibbs, BBC News.
Two teams today going into Redhouse. Dan, Tim, myself and Dill going to do some surveying and maybe drop the death hole, as it's called. And then Dan Jackson taking 3 of his mates to do a bit of a tourist trip, but they're going to kindly portage in some climbing equipment that we might well use in the future. Dan Jackson's friends, and we've got, who's this?
Darren.
Duncan. Rob.
And they're very kindly going to take in some climbing kit for us. So well done.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So just behind me is the boulder choke going down to the wicked pitch of the north, and I'm about to go down through there to see if we can find a way of digging around to avoid going through this boulder choke. But there's a really dodgy boulder that I'd quite like moved out of the way. When Dan and I went under it last time, it felt really sketchy, and it's a big boulder. So we were rather thinking it might be better down than up. And but that in itself is a bit of a dodgy manoeuvre, and it could end up falling all the way down the pitch. So we're going to find out. I'd say that went the whole way. And also move that boulder there a bit.
Yeah.
Which is the one we want to actually try and move, possibly. Yeah, that moved that one at the top as well, just so you know.
Yeah.
Whew.
That shit is unstable.
Right. Well, that's changed the complexion of things quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't all go down to the bottom, which is one thing. And it's made it a lot more stable for not, you know, I mean, can you imagine that doing that while you're underneath it? That would have been a bloody disaster, wouldn't it? Gingerly go down here and see how stable I can get all these other bits. It might be nearly wedged that. Got a point there, and it's resting on something there. The thing is, you're going to have to sit on that to climb over into the rift. The rift's that bit there. So I think I can probably just sit on that. I don't think that's going to go on. I'll give it a bit more of a kick.
Yeah.
And then once I can sit on it, I can get one round. And then that, yeah, we'll clear then. And it's just the fact that you don't want anyone pulling on anything. And I just think knocking that could be just a cascade failure of the whole lot.
Yeah, I get plenty of that.
As you see, and even here, you know, you just got to be so careful what you pull up on. And it's not going to be a big trade route, because at the end of the day, probably after Tim and Dan have surveyed it, no one's going to go back. That's a ridiculous thing. We are at the wicked pitch. Over there, the ropes where we normally go down, and to the right here is the traverse I did to come across into the high north. But another lead we were thinking about was a rift off to the side here. Dill's actually just gone round there through the high north rifts. We made a light connection, which is good in one sense, because it means that there's no point in us trying to traverse around into there, because it just goes back into where we've been a minute ago. So the only other possible lead in this pitch area is up above, and that's going to be really tricky. But up there, I think, is a higher level phreatic passage that goes up. But getting to it over these overhangs, or maybe across from that rope there where I put a Y hang in, is about the only chance. Meantime, Redhouse's top survey team down here. Right, so here I am at the top of the wicked pitch, and see the bottom. You can just about see the rescue bag at the bottom there. On the left there is the traverse that I did a few weeks back into the high north. To the right here is another passage going in that we've now made a visual connection through to. The one I'm interested in is up there. Now you can see a hole going up. Looks to be about 2 meters across by half a meter or so, and then just above it again is another, what looks like a phreatic sort of hole coming out. I guess it's all part of the same thing. It may just be that it goes through. What I'm hoping is that the top bit is a sort of phreatic tube that was coming out and then cut through lower down. Now, it might not go anywhere. In fact, it probably doesn't. But it's going to be a lot of work to find out whether it does go anywhere by traversing across from those bolts across into the hole to be able to look up to see if there is a passage above. Just not sure whether it's worth the effort.